Us is back at it again, and another day, another trailer, huh? 3 trailers, 1 week out from the beginning of the show. This is kind of crazy. I mean, are they gonna leave any part of this episode like up in the air for us to like theorize about or anticipate? I mean, they're giving us the whole story at this point. I already know the entire story of this episode. That's the danger of making a lot of trailers. But anyways, let's talk about this trailer and let's break it down. I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. So firstly, we can see that they're at the season 3 tribe, right? Looks like they're going back to the season 3 tribe. This looks like the season 3 tent, just redecorated with a bunch of different carpets and designs. I love the design behind Osman. It kind of expands upon that original like shield with the arrows, so pretty cool. Now the basic gist of the story, or at least what we've seen in this trailer, is that Osman and Orhan are gonna have a little bit of a divergence in their approach to conquering Bursa and their goals. There is one of the bays, I think Shaheen. He's the guy who looks like a Viking. He has he disagrees with Orhan about this. And then Aladdin's story is gonna be another love story, like another nonsense drama. Basically, he's getting I think a second wife because Gonja can't produce a baby. So yeah, I mean, this is interesting because they're kind of framing Osman as a not quite an antagonist, like maybe a deuterologist, basically someone who's kind of in the way, an obstacle for the main character, which is Orhan, to get over. So this is kind of an interesting approach. I don't know if this is a shot to Burak, but that's just me putting my conspiracy hat on. Anyways, this tribe and the post looks really nice. I'm absolutely adoring Jihan's portrayal of Osman, older Osman. So this is pretty cool. Nice shot of the goat. So this is the headquarters. Here they're going to probably announce that second wedding. This is what we've seen before. I mean, I do appreciate that they're introducing new set designs, and you can see a lot of different characters. So this is good. This is good. This addresses one of the complaints that we've had. Much more detailed sets, and we can see Orhan's kind of like at the head of the table. So he's kind of in a leadership position at this point of the story. This is the guy right here who seems like he's going to be not a good guy, not a bad guy, another obstacle for Orhan, but he's kind of like, in my opinion, justified, right? Who is this young guy to kind of question the leader, like Osman, all of a sudden, or question his approach, or go off on his own? Because it looks like Orhan is going to take actions of his own accounts without, consulting anyone, and yeah, that's kind of like not right, but sometimes you have to do that. This shot right here is insane. Like you can tell the age difference. Like Cerkutay has not aged a day. Meanwhile, Osman is like 50 or 60 years old. I mean, Cerkutay has some crazy skincare routine. I don't know what he's doing. Like right here, it's just so jarring. They didn't even try with Cerkutay. They did not even try. Fantastic shot. I don't think I've ever seen this set, but this is awesome. I mean, they're increasing the cast. They're getting better sets now. Just, let's not get too excited. They always do something extra, something special for the first episode. And in my opinion, this is supposed to be a comeback, episode. Comeback for the franchise. And my sentiment has remained the same all throughout the 3 trailers. This looks good. It looks like the story is going to be, they tried. There's a lot more effort, a lot more passion in all facets of the show. However, it doesn't do enough to excite me, to make me think they're going to do anything different than what they've done in the past. But anyways, lovely shot. Cool shot of Orhan. I think Mert is going to fit into the character very well, but let's see. Yeah, this is definitely the season 3 tribe. They definitely brought it back. I mean, I don't have a problem. This is like a soft reset of the story, right? They're going to fix the mistakes that they made throughout Osman, and they're going to progress from a great tribe into I think they're already like a Beylik, they're already like an Imaret, but they'll progress from being tribal people to people who become an empire and a palace and whatnot. So it's a soft reset. We'll give them this chance. Let's see if they actually write some good story and character progression. Now this looks like we're at a point where Orhan already has kids, So that's definitely going to raise a bit of a conflict and some justification as to why Aladdin needs to get married for the second time and have kids of his own. Cool little shot here. I wonder how they're gonna build up Orhan's son, his children, and display their personalities and give us a hint of what's to come in the future. Because Orhan's son is gonna be the successor of the Ottoman Empire, so it'll be interesting. Nice shot of Bursa. Nice shot. Okay, nice shot of like a castle, but for some reason, this to me does not convey the weight, the grandeur that Bursa should have, because it's this castle that they've been speaking of for, I don't know, 2-3 seasons, and but I don't know, maybe Bursa is like more emphasized because of its strategic position rather than its like size. But still, like, this is like the main boss of the series, right? The main goal of the series. And I feel like it should feel a lot more grand. But I mean, still pretty good. It's still pretty good. I'm just being a little nitpicky here. This is a nice shot that kind of conveys Orhan's ambition. He sees, you can see in his eyes that he can envision the Kai tribe, the Emirate of Osman, conquering this castle. I don't care for this. Looks like, I don't even know who this is. Is this Holofera? Or Nilüfer? I don't know. Is Holofera and Nilüfer the same person? I have no idea. But looks like she has her like warrior fit on. That definitely looks like some fur armor and leather. So looks like we're gonna get some Bajular action. I'm not really opposed to Bajular action. I think it's cool when it's necessary. It's not necessary when you already have like men on the battlefield, or like they don't have to be fighting shoulder to shoulder. Definitely not. If they're in the back, like shooting arrows or not, that's cool. I'm cool with that. But like when they're like freaking 50-year-old Bala doing a Spider-Man jump off a building and then beating up like 3 Mongols alone, I'm like, come on, guys. A bit of a blurry shot, but this is where Orhan definitely takes action on his own account, and I guess he does a little raid at Bursa or near Bursa, and this is gonna cause the conflict that we're gonna see throughout season 1 between Osman and Orhan. There's definitely gonna be some conflict. This right here is where Shahin Bey, I'm just gonna call him Shahin Bey, kind of states that this dichotomy between father and son could only spell trouble for the tribe, and he's absolutely right. So I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's gonna be kind of the more reasonable character. This right here, in typical Osman fashion, with an absolutely aura farming maneuver, he just shuts his son up with his hand. So there's some conflict there. There's definitely some difference in opinions on how they should approach, I guess, Bursa and other matters. So interesting. Aladdin writing, they're definitely emphasizing that he's going to be a smart character, a bit more of a tactician. So I'm glad to actually see that. But the thing is, your characters are only as smart as your writers. So let's see what comes of this. This is where Gonja kind of states that it kind of sucks that Aladdin has to get married. It's because she can't have kids. There's gonna be all that whole drama. Yeah, I don't really care for that. A shot of the Byzantine. Hopefully they give them justice. Hopefully they do them justice. Hopefully they write these characters well enough to where they don't have to fall back on Mongols for the 74th time. Mongols did not exist at this time. I mean, yes, they existed, but they would have no reason to go tamper with the situation there. They would be much busier taking care of things in the east because their kind of empire started to split, and they had to take care of some stuff. And I think Timur Lane, Timur was around at this time, or maybe a little later. No, he was around later. I think he was around Bayezid's time, which is either Orhan's son or Orhan's son's son, but I don't know. Anyways, Byzantines, hopefully they're cool. This guy definitely looks like a good villain. Let's see how he goes. Hopefully no screaming, no mustache twirling, no cartoony villain. Hopefully he actually... Here's my problem though. Just looking at him and looking at his facial expressions, I can already tell he's going to be a 2-dimensional villain. He's going to be your basic average, and I hope I'm wrong. I truly hope I'm wrong. But he's going to be your basic average, just evil Byzantine guy. Come on, guys. We need some more nuance to the characters. We need some more nuance to the villains. And I can already feel myself airing out the same grievances that I've been airing out for the past, 2 or 3 years with Osman Season 1 and 2. I mean, it just feels to me like they're doing everything the same as before with a little more like effort into like detail, which is good, but fundamentally, I don't know, it's not different. I don't know, I hope I'm wrong, but in in 3 trailers I haven't seen any sense of nuance with this character. I haven't seen like anything justifiable about him, anything good. Like black and white villains are just man, like in this case with this dude, like yeah, you can have like one or 2 side characters, side villains that are just like obnoxiously, like outrageously villainous, silly, or like just evil, and it's like, yeah, we want to see our characters destroy evil. In the real world there is actual straight up evil, and so we live vicariously through these characters that will kind of eliminate evil, and yeah, that's fine. But at the same time, when you're watching a story, an entertaining story, the villain has to be compelling. I don't know who this guy is, bro. I cannot tell if he looks to me like a traitor elf. I had like captions on and subtitles. I didn't really get what he was saying, but like this dude looks like straight up evil, like a traitor. Like he looks like he sells his grandmother for a grape. I mean, goodness gracious. Maybe he turns out to be the most loyal elf. I don't know. Cool little shot of this Shaheen guy confronting Orhan. I'm sure he's gonna confront him about his mistakes. I feel like it would be cool if we get like a, like a master and trainee type situation in the future. Hopefully this guy's a cool, like smart character that Orhan can learn from. So that would be good. Now, the only reason why I think in the beginning they're gonna be conflicted is because here he's asking Osman for permission to be the leader of the siege in the Alps. And obviously Orhan wants that position too. So there will be a little bit of conflict, which is good. It's interesting. Boran, the absolute GOAT, my favorite character, legend. Yeah, he looks his age. And not only that, he looks absolutely incredible at it. I mean, dude, this guy is a legend, man. Absolute legend. Like, if I'm watching Kurulus Orhan, Boran is one of the biggest reasons why. Incredible shot here. You can see that the tent is a lot more luxurious and large, and this is a really cool scene of Osman kind of still being portrayed as the leader of the tribe. I mean, I'm really happy that Turuhan is still in great shape and able to, get on his horse, hold the sword up, really like portray the essence and aura of a leader. A lot of the times they have like older actors come in and portray like the older versions of certain characters, and they can't really do much because of their age, but it's cool to see this guy still, doing really well. So awesome. Lovely shot. Just look at that. That is a good shot. Yeah, you can hear the evil traitor bad guy music in the background from this guy. The yeah, that sound. You know what I'm talking about? Skincare Cerkutay, and there's my goat, Turuhan! The OG Turuhan! And I think that's it. I'm glad they brought back the boar cats. You don't see those a lot these days. They all love to show off their hair and whatnot, but come on, guys, we want to see the hats. I think I have like 12 of those hats. But anyways, I think that's it. Kept it short and sweet this time. Honestly, again, my sentiment is I think it'll be a good episode. It looks like it's very well written. It looks like they're paid attention to details. They put a lot into the budget. They put a lot into the sets. They put a lot of effort into the cinematography. You can see that the color grading is different too. So I think all in all, it's shaping up to be a very exciting episode. I'm definitely going to watch. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys want to do a watch party on Discord. I'd definitely be down. But the only thing is, based off the 3 trailers we've seen before, it doesn't do anything to make me feel like it's going to be all that much better than Osman, right? A huge improvement, right? That it's going to like be the comeback of the series, but I could be wrong. The key anchor to all of this is the storytelling. If they have a massive look like sets, upgrades, huge battles, so on and so forth, like that's all great and fine and dandy, but there's so many Turkish series that have all of that, and they don't even match Ertuğrul or even Osman. They can't even match like a dime to them, right? But like, if they brush up and tighten the storytelling, like to such a degree, then we're golden. Because if you guys remember with Ertuğrul, it wasn't that like highly produced or of a series. It didn't have that big of a budget. But what made it different than everything else was the storytelling, the character development. That's what made it like appealing to the entire globe and not just Turkey. So yeah, let's see. I mean, literally, Ertuğrul put Turkey on the map just because of the great storytelling. So let's see with this. But yeah, thanks guys. Have a good one.